Happy holiday! Yes, we're back.
We're back. What is going on, kinfolk? Welcome to another
Real Talk Thursday.
Finally, we're back. Sorry about the,
Yeah. Well, 2020 has been a series of cluster Fs.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
So, it's been a little harder to consistently get together to make sure that we talk to you guys, but we're back.
We are back. And today, we're going to talk about the holiday blues. And you guys know, those of you who have been with me for a while know that every year I experience the holiday blues. And I feel like this year, even more people are going to be feeling that due to COVID and not being able to get together with extended family, and sometimes even, immediate family, some people aren't even getting together with. So if you guys want to hear more about the holiday blues, kind of maybe we can help you figure out some ways to overcome it a little bit, then keep on watching. So, the holiday blues, do you usually experience the holiday blues?
So I feel like you can have holiday blues whether you are with your family or not with your family. I think for a lot of people, and this is more so in the past than recently, this is always the situation I was in. I would gather with my family, but gathering with my family and my extended family would bring its own set of issues depending on what the tension was in the family for that particular year, or who wasn't speaking to whom, or what we were walking on eggshells about. Like, that's definitely been going on for a long time.
Now, is your family big? Do you have like aunts and uncles and stuff that come over too?
Yeah.
Or is it just your brothers, sisters?
It used to be that we would go to one of my grandparents' houses, and now I only have one living grandparent left. It's my grandma on my dad's side, and she just recently, like within here this last month, moved. Her and her husband, they moved into like a senior living like apartment, so not really like an assisted living, but it's like a senior community. So now she's not in her house anymore, so it's not going to necessarily be like where people are able to come over, because for one, they don't have the space. For two, she absolutely refuses to allow kids in her house.
Oh, really?
Just because they with them being elderly, and then her husband actually is in stage 4 I want to say pancreatic cancer. But I might be wrong about the type of cancer. He's not my grandfather, but so yeah, she knows that kids are kind of like little germ harbingers anyway, and especially for COVID, because they really don't get as sick as elderly people do. So she's like, So that's off the table. Even I think without COVID, just because now they don't have the space for everyone to gather. I have one aunt that I'm have a good relationship with on my dad's side, and they just recently moved out of state, so they bought or built a beautiful beach home in Florida. And now I have a family on my mom's side though that we are closer. So I do have cousins that live here. I have 2 aunts that live here, and we all don't gather that much. I think mainly because of COVID, but we have done Zooms, and we definitely keep in touch on social media and stuff like that. I would say my mom's side of the family is the family with the least amount of drama. There's still some drama, but the least amount. And then with being single for these last couple of holidays, I don't really have a relationship that extended, after breaking up with my son's dad. So even though he and I still have a good relationship, I don't have any relationship with his family, so to speak, so I wouldn't really feel comfortable going over there with anyone. So it's just going to be me and the kiddos. Hopefully, if you guys, whoever is following me on Instagram, you'll see some content on Instagram from the holidays. So I am excited about making memories for the kids as they're in this phase of their life where they really remember lots of stuff. You know, when your kids are real little, you want to make stuff magical, but a lot of times they don't remember. Right. The ages that they are now, I feel like, are like crucial, like game time. So I'm stepping my mom game like way up. Aww. For whatever holidays. We've already decorated for Christmas. I've shown some of my dollar store DIYs also that we've done decorating. If you guys follow me on Instagram, so make sure to check that out. But yeah, we're going to be doing matching PJs for Christmas and stuff. So that is obviously always a bright spot to get to do stuff for the kids. But in terms of family, I have the holiday blues because even the family that I am close with or do have a good relationship with, we probably won't be able to see this year. And then I have a lot of just unresolved family issues that I feel like the holidays will just be a reminder of that. So that's my status. Not to bring you guys down or anything. Okay. Let me know if you can relate though. But what's your holiday status looking like?
Well, this year it's better than past years. Like I feel like, well, so
you got a whole family.
I have a whole family. You know, it's interesting because I've had the holiday blues for the last. When did I move to Indiana? 2002. Since then, so my grandmother
solid 18 years,
pretty much. Since my grandmother passed away, she passed away in 2001. So ever since she passed, grandmothers are like the backbone of the family, for sure. And so our family was always so close, and we lived in Chicago at the time, and my mom and both my brothers and I, we were like so close. Like we would hang out all the time, and holidays, it was just not a question. Mm-hmm. So even after my grandmother died, like the first holiday without her was really hard. But we tried to make it really special. We were still in her house. But then when we moved to Indiana, it was, I think, the first year that it was like I did not want any part of it. Like it was just sad because first of all, we're in a completely different state. Yeah. It's a total life transition. My grandmother's gone. And I think it was really sinking in. Like, because when she passed away in August of 2001, so it was still somewhat like fresh, and I didn't see her all the time, so it just didn't really sink in. Yeah, but and we had Thanksgiving and Christmas. We had Thanksgiving and Christmas at her house. So my mom was living with my grandfather, taking care of him, and so we were still in her house. But the first year, not even having access to her house and like all that stuff, it just really like. I was so depressed. Yeah. And then my brother Jimmy, he, like, I don't know. When we moved here, like me, my mom, and Jason came, and our grandfather came, but he's now, he passed on. But the three of us came with my grandfather, and Jimmy stayed in Chicago, so that was hard too. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I don't think he came. I don't remember if he came home for the holidays or not at that time. I don't remember, but it's just been really sad ever since. And then like he stopped coming home for some holidays, and it's just gotten more and more like weird to the point to where we just say we don't do anything because I think that it makes my mom really sad because she feels like, well, what about me? Like, why am I not good enough? And it's like, it's not about you, Mom. It really isn't. We love you, but it's just not the same. Like literally for our whole life it's been my mom, Jason, Jimmy, and I. None of us have kids. None of us have spouses. It's like we're stuck in like our childhood and like we're in the same spot. Our family isn't growing. It's so depressing. It's like there's not even any kids to have Christmas for. What are we, like, why? Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get that.
That's why it's always been hard for me. And I think for me, like, even Easter and 4th of July and things like that are really hard for me because literally every single holiday we spent with my grandmother. Like, every holiday. Everything. St. Patrick's Day. We're not even Irish. Yeah. It was just an excuse to get together. Yeah. So I always experience it, and Christmas is always sad. People always invite me to like come to their houses and stuff. I'm like, I'm just not the kind of I'm not the kind of person that can fake the funk. I'm not the kind of person that can be like pretend like, oh, everything's good. Like it's so depressing. I would rather just like spend the day crying. Like, and watching TV and eating food.
Yeah.
Because like I'm probably going to start crying anyway. I'd rather do it by myself. I don't want people to feel sorry for me. I'm not looking for attention. I just need to be alone.
Now, will Easton be... What's the schedule going to be like? Do you guys know for him between you guys and his mom's house?
So yeah, this year... With Travis and Easton, I'm really actually kind of excited. Easton, I think... How do they do it? Did he say every other year? So I think Thanksgiving is kind of casual, and then Christmas they just swap years. Yeah. And so this year, I'm not exactly sure how it's gonna work, because I think last year was Travis's Christmas year. So we'll see. But Thanksgiving, I'm excited because we're gonna go to Alabama. It's gonna be really low key because of COVID, and like his mom was just really adamant. She really wants to see us, and she doesn't go anywhere. We don't go anywhere. Like I feel like anybody that we're connected with, we literally don't leave the house. So it's like all of our people, which I don't even get together with a lot of people. Like me and you, that's it.
I know. We haven't seen each other in a while, but we definitely ain't going nowhere.
And we literally don't go. We go to the gym, which we go to the gym here that no one is ever in. And then I don't even go to the store. Like I order everything and have it delivered. So
and you guys could always, just to ease your mind, you could get tested before, if you wanted to. Just to double check.
Yeah, I thought about doing that. So we have a few days to get that done. And so I'm not really worried about it. I think it's just going to be his mom, and then we're going to stop and see my mom. My mom has not been around anybody either, so it's just going to be really low key. But I'm looking forward to it, because even if it was just going to be the three of us with me, Travis, and Eisen, it would be fun. It would be better than other years, because like I've always been alone. And
let me tell you something that you guys can do, which we've done this with great success. We actually did this last year. So my the way that we do the holidays with my ex-husband, which is the father of my two daughters, if you guys know, I always have the girls on Christmas Day. He always has the girls on Christmas Eve. But it's kind of weird because usually he'll do Christmas Eve. He is also from Chicago, and a lot of his family is from Chicago, so sometimes they may go there. I don't know if they're going to do that. They do that, and then they normally come back in the morning on Christmas Day. So then in the morning, he drops the girls off. So if you can imagine, that sometimes causes some issues, because he's not always respectful of the time. Sometimes we, are waiting. The issues that you have when you're with someone, if you decide not to be with them, they're going to be the same issues. Right. If they're not respectful when you're together, they're not going to be respectful when you're not together. So last year, because I felt like for whatever reason, it had been getting worse. Like every year he would be like a little bit more and a little bit more late. So I had told the kids, and also if you think about it, what's the best part about Christmas for a kid? It's waking up Christmas Day and running down. So since they were always usually traveling Christmas morning, they would never get the experience of waking up somewhere, and they would have whatever Christmas they would have on Christmas Eve and then Christmas Day. So I was like, this year, which this was last year, I'm like, we are going to move Christmas to a different day. We are going to just have Christmas on a different day. We're going to do our cookies and milk. We're going to do our Christmas PJs. We're going to do everything. But we just did it like, I think we did it like a couple of days before. And we just created the whole ambiance. Aww. So it was waking up in the morning, running downstairs, the presents. Like we did it all. Like we just moved Christmas to a different day. Because I'm all about, I think it's best when people who aren't together can work together.
For sure.
That's obviously ideal. But sometimes, because you can only control yourself, you can't control the other person. Sometimes it's just not how it works out. And I'm all about making it work regardless for my kids.
Sure.
So I don't harp on what another person is or isn't doing or whatever. I just say, you know what? Regardless of what they do, I can still make this a success. I just have to figure out a way. So that is what we did last year.
They love it.
They loved it.
Aww.
They loved it. So we've already started talking about doing, again for this year, like we can get our Christmas PJs, we'll make our hot cocoa and our cookies, and
so
we just
sweet.
we'll
love
just
your family.
do it how we feel like it'll work best for us. So then that way, if they're even are going to travel this year, and plus you never know what the weather's going to be like or whatever. So if there are any strange occurrences that happen that make them late on Christmas morning, then it takes the stress off of the girls. It takes any stress off of us. And we normally, last year we just left like a few presents that they could still open on Christmas Day if they wanted to. Yeah. They have like a little Christmas tree that used to be in my daughter's room when they shared a room, but now that they don't share a room, it's in my oldest daughter's room. So they'll put gifts for each other under their little tree. Of course, we have gifts in our stockings, and then we have gifts under the big Christmas tree. So I let them decide which ones they want to open on our Christmas that we, create, and then which ones they want to save for Christmas Day so they have something open.
That is so special. I love that.
So, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do.
That is true.
So you guys can always do that with icing or like just figuring out whatever you want to do. Just do what works for your family. Absolutely. There's really no right or wrong. It's however you can create the magic, however you can make it special. Especially we're talking about holiday blues. Sometimes when you think about like, man, you're like, no, this year I'm divorced, or this year, whatever a situation you're in. This year, I have a loved one who's passed away, or whatever. Things are not going to be the same as they were before, but it's a perfect reason to start a new tradition or to start something else that can now be something new that you look forward to.
Like even if you have to spend it by yourself, or if you were like me and like just knew that you emotionally could not handle going to someone else's house or doing anything with anybody else, then make it like I actually started to look even though on the day it was still emotionally challenging, like I started to look forward to like I'm gonna eat whatever I want today, I'm gonna watch movies all day, I'm gonna chill out, and it's gonna be great. Like, and I enjoyed it. I didn't have the worry of anything, and I just like chilled, and I chilled hard. And it was, even though it still carries a little bit of that heaviness, but at least I knew, like, I made sure that I could look forward to something. I had something to look forward to, even if it was just, a brownie sundae and some pizza, or, whatever, or Chinese food, whatever. So there's always a way to, like, at least help. But I think, honestly, the more healthy I got, because after my divorce, like, it was when like a lot of different layers of me started healing, and I at the last couple of years, I've got to the point to where, while it did carry a little bit of sadness, it was nowhere near like it had been. But yeah, I was just like, this is just an excuse for me to not do anything all day. I'm not gonna work. I'm just gonna enjoy the day, and ended up being just fine. But the holidays are challenging, and like I said, this year, with COVID, you can do special things like that, without having to see your extended family, and just know that this is not going to last forever, and there are going to be plenty of other
please
years.
God, don't let it last forever.
I know, everybody's like 2021, 2020. I'm like, 2021's probably going to be about the same.
It's going to be a little rocky. Probably
going to be about the same
for that first half. Y'all know how I am about the coronavirus in terms of like all the stuff that I read and the education and stuff like that. So just to give y'all a little update, they are starting to make a lot of progress with the vaccines, but it probably will still not be until April of next year. that they'll be able to be like disseminated on a wide, basis for people. They'll have different things that they're able to do for emergency use, which I think will just be for like hospital only. But in terms of our life getting anywhere back close to normal, we're still a ways away. And it's getting so bad right now. I think it's worse now in a lot of places than it has been, period, than it was even at the beginning or whatever. So still, y'all be safe. I think I've cracked the code in my fake scientific wisdom that I have on why a lot of people have wondered, and I think that's what lends itself to people feeling like it's fake and it's a hoax, which we obviously know it's not. But it's like, why do some people get mildly sick and why do some people like die?
Right.
So there's like a couple of different components. I think the biggest being like the viral load. So when you're exposed to the virus, it's how much virus is in whatever you're exposed to. So imagine if I sneeze and my spit, whatever is expelled out, lands directly on your face or on your mouth or whatever. Obviously, that's going to be like a high load of virus, depending on what level that I have that's in like my saliva, my mucus, or whatever. Not trying to gross y'all out. And then it dials back depending on how close you are to the droplets, how many droplets hit you, how long the droplets have been in the air, how long the droplets have been on the surface. That's why, when we talk about cleaning and hand washing and stuff like that, a lot of people don't do that stuff to the directions. Like sometimes when we're cleaning our house, you spray and wipe, and a lot of people don't read the directions that say you have to spray and leave it on for 60 seconds or whatever the case may be. So you may be killing all, but not some or whatever. So depending on how much virus is still left that you're then exposed to determines on how sick you get, if that makes sense. And then there's some other things too. They've discovered some. Is that
something you discovered? Like
auto antibodies. Yeah, amongst all of my reading.
Okay.
That's why they say, being outside gives you more, and you still want to be distanced, but like they're talking about like outdoor eating and how a lot of places have like pivoted to eating outdoors, but some places are doing like tents. Oh. Like little pop, like almost like a covered tent. So each table is like a little tent. That. And a lot of people are like, oh yes, but that actually takes away the safety factor of being outside and the ventilation that it would provide for the wind to carry the particles away. Right. Because now you're just as enclosed as you would have been. Like if there's outdoor seating, but now they put the plastic, walls or whatever down the side of the balcony, now the airflow is lessened, so it's almost like you just being inside at the restaurant.
Right. Which I guess if you're only going to dinner with your like husband or your wife or your
like your family, immediate household,
then it's okay. But I guess if you want to have lunch with friends, that's not a good idea.
And I think that's what, when you guys are thinking about doing the holidays, just do what is best. Try not to be judgmental of what anyone else is doing. Just do what you feel like is best for your family. If you're going to see family, just take your precautions. Maybe you guys aren't doing hugs. I actually just went to a birthday party that was outdoors at a park, and it was less than 10 of us, but it was for some of my family members, one of which whom has been having a really super hard time lately. So we just emotionally, so we wanted to do something as a family, so we decided to get together, but we weren't necessarily doing hugs. We were elbowing and fist bumping, but we still were having masks and we were outdoors. So do what you feel is right, but if you want to see your family and just try to be as protective of yourself and of them as you can, because the best way to combat the holiday blues is for us to understand that ultimately the Lord is still in control.
Absolutely.
Our common sense and facts and science can prevail, but blood of Jesus prevails above everything.
Absolutely. And obviously anybody that's going to participate in whatever gatherings are all adults and can make their own decisions. So it's not like they're being forced. So people who don't want to go are not going to go. It's just people who are willing to take the chance are willing to take the chance, and that's okay. I do agree with the whole non-judgment thing, because, you know, I think it's so easy to be like, how could you get together with your family? And, like, some people mentally need it. Like, and honestly, like, I feel like a lot of the distance and being alone is more detrimental than the virus itself for some people. And, you know, I think that's something to keep in mind, too.
And you guys know I had been letting my son go to school in person. I have 3 kids, two have been doing e-learning all year, and my son has been going in person. Now they're going to switch back to e-learning because our schools are shutting down again. But I felt like the benefits outweighed the risk for him to go in person, because he really needed the benefit of working with all of his resource teachers and getting the coaching and the help that they provide and his different therapies that he gets at school. And that's tough to do in an e-learning setting. So we were doing everything, taking all the precautions, but I was having him go to school in person because I felt like that was what was best for him and for our situation.
Absolutely. And same thing with ice. So it's like some kids need that. Like, they need that.
And we have to learn how to pivot for this thing to be, as, you know, it's taken up all of this year almost, and it's going to be going well into next year. So we have to learn how to pivot, how to be smart. I feel like we could do a better job at being smart, because I honestly think some people are just living totally free of any regard, you know,
straight reckless. Yeah.
And that's a part of the reason why I think it still is around.
Not loud, man.
Around so long is because there are still so many people who are like, I haven't even worn a mask this whole time. Well, you know, I mean.
Or people who are still going, as soon as the clubs open, they were the first ones there. They're still hanging out.
I mean, I've seen people at party.
I see a lot of
restaurant.
people.
I'm like,
people having people like a party in their house.
Like, y'all are really out here getting it,
sharing drinks, all kinds. Like, what are you doing?
So, you know, but again, I'm trying to hold myself to that own.
Those are the people I'm staying away from.
Standard too. I'm trying not to be judgmental, but it's like, come on, let's use common sense so that the people who are the most affected, you know, we don't want to be hurtful to other people in our actions. So we're going to kind of wrap this up. This is a short video today because we have other obligations, but just remember, perspective is everything. Don't be afraid to change or create new traditions. Don't be afraid to be patient with yourself.
Absolutely.
And understand that if you are struggling, if you are sad or whatever, it's okay. Like, sometimes you have to do a little self-care. Sometimes you have to lean into those feelings a little bit, because like Shanna was saying, it's not going to last forever, and you will eventually get to the other side. So don't suppress how you feel. You know, figure out what you need to do. If you're a believer, take it to God and like try to figure out what can you do to get to the other side of that pain.
Absolutely. And
did I wrap that up with a bow?
Yes, you did. And happy holidays, everybody. We hope that everyone does have a good one. Even if you have to spend it by yourself, like I said, just make it the best you can. And we are praying for you, and we are here for you. So reach out to either one of us if you need some emotional support.
Absolutely.
I think we really stress that, you know, we're not close to each other, obviously, but we're here for you, and we are both, you know, open ears, and we have available shoulders for you guys to
have
cry
available
on.
Virtual shoulders.
Absolutely.
So some of you guys I have bonded with on Instagram, we are like really becoming friends. So but yeah, so I'm sorry y'all, I'm getting caught up on my own lip. But we appreciate everyone. But don't forget to make sure that you're following us both on all the various social media platforms. don't be a stranger, and we will try to make sure that we get some more Real Talk Thursday content out to you guys. Obviously, with the holidays coming up, it may be spaced out again, but we might try to get together. We had an idea to do a live together. And it didn't quite work out because I ended up having a scheduling conflict, but we may try to do that so that we can get more stuff into you guys that's not as time consuming as trying to sit and film a video and then edit it and all that. If we could just pop on and talk to you guys where you can talk back to us, that'd be cool too. So
so I think that would be really fun. But for now, we love you guys. If you have any video ideas, I know we did have a suggestion to do a video on mental health, so hopefully we can touch base on that. I want you to know that we saw your comment and we do hear you, and you guys know that I'm a big advocate on taking care of yourself and your mental health. So just
Jesus and therapy.
Absolutely. So let us know the things that you want us to talk about, and we will see you guys in the next Real Talk Thursday. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Love you guys. Bye.